Hello, Professor.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, how are you, sir?
I'm fine. Hope everybody's fine. Yeah, good.
Good. Yes, sir. So nice to connect with you, sir.
Yeah. Nice to see you.
Okay. So thanks for accepting our invitation. We are
You're
very happy
welcome.
to have you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So how is everything, sir?
Yeah, I'm actually fine. I
Okay.
have another meeting in 1 hour, so I'm
Okay.
trying to be as snappy as possible,
Okay.
and so that I can join the other meeting.
Okay. So Sheikha, you please go ahead. Please start.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Stephen Hawking once said, "Success in creating artificial intelligence would be the biggest event in human history. Unfortunately, it might also be the last, unless we learn how to avoid the risks." A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I, Shaikha Afif, third year Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering, GSSS ITW Mysore, deem it to be my privilege and honor to welcome you all to the third day of 5-day back-to-back IEEE Day webinar series from the 5th to 9th of October 2020. It will be held daily at 3 to 4 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Seeking the blessings of our founder secretary, late Professor B.S. Pandit Sir, a great visionary of this institute, we shall begin today's event. IEEE is the world's largest technical professional organization dedicated to advancing technology for the benefit of humanity. An IEEE student branch provides range of opportunities to the student community and the faculties across streams to network with their peers and provides a strong interface between the academician and industrialist who thrive for technological innovation. IEEE student branch was inaugurated at GSSS ITW on 29th August 2015. GSSS ITW student branch has organized many technical and extracurricular activities for the benefit of students. Resource persons have been invited from reputed industries and institutions to act as jury members for the events organized. IEEE student members are encouraged to volunteer in organizing such events, and they are motivated to participate in various seminars, workshops, conferences, and societal activities. IEEE student branch GSSS ITW has received Outstanding Medium Student Branches Award in recognition of outstanding contribution during the year 2019. IEEE Day was celebrated the first time in history when engineers worldwide and IEEE members gathered to share their technical ideas in 1884. Worldwide celebrations demonstrate the ways thousands of IEEE members in local communities join together to collaborate on ideas that leverage technology for a better tomorrow. Now engraved in its essence, the IEEE Day's theme is leveraging technology for a better tomorrow. While the world benefits from what's next, IEEE focuses on what's next. With this, I now request Ms. Prarthana MR, student of GSSS ITW Mysore, to welcome the dignitaries.
Thank you so much, Shaikha. A very good afternoon to everyone present here. This is Prarthana MR, third year student of Telecommunication Engineering, GSSS ITW Mysore. It gives me immense pleasure and honor to welcome you all for the third day webinar of IEEE Day webinar series from 5th to 9th October 2020, daily at 3 to 4 p.m. in Indian Standard Time, organized by GSSS Institute of Engineering and Technology for Women, Mysore, under IEEE Student Branch and IEEE WIE Affinity Group in association with IEEE Bangalore Section and IEEE Circuits and Systems Society, Bangalore Chapter. Before proceeding further, we shall seek the blessings of our founder secretary, late Professor B.S. Pandit Sir. GSSS Institute of Engineering and Technology for Women was established in the year 2003 with the foresight of our founder secretary, late Professor B.S. Pandit, with the objective of giving women empowerment. GSSS ITW is the premier technical institute, the first of its kind in Karnataka. Founders of this great institute had a vision of women empowerment decades ago. Due to the determination and hard work has led this institution to grow by leaps and bounds. GSSS IETW is the reflection of ideals of Founder Secretary Professor B.S. Pandit. At first, on the behalf of our institute, I extend a hearty welcome to today's speaker, Dr. Celestine Ewendi, ACM Distinguished Speaker, Fellow Higher Education Academy UK, Visiting Professor, Coal City University, Nigeria. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation and making this webinar most remarkable. Once again, a very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
Our Honorary Secretary, Srimati Vanaja B. Pandit Madam, Shri R.K. Bharat Sir, Managing Committee Member and CEO, GSSS, and Srimati Anupama B. Pandit Madam, Administrative Officer, GSSS IETW, have conveyed their best wishes for the success of this event. It is indeed a pleasure in welcoming our beloved Principal, Dr. M. Shivakumar Sir, and moderator of this webinar series. I welcome you, sir. I extend my warm welcome to IEEE Student Branch Counselor, Dr. Parmesha Chari BD, who plays a key role in organizing this event. I welcome you, sir. I also welcome the coordinators of this webinar, Dr. Manjula G, Dr. Manju Prasad B, and Mr. Basavanna M, Nayana CG, and all the IEEE Student Branch faculty coordinators. Last but not the least, I would like to welcome all the participants from various organizations across India for this webinar. I am sure that this webinar will give significant inputs for your career. I extend a hearty welcome to all the faculty members of GSSS IETW to this webinar. A hearty welcome to each one of them to this session. Thank you, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Prarthana. I request all the participants to switch on their camera for a group picture. Thank you all. Now, I request Ms. Suprita Hedges, student of GSSS IETW Mysore, to introduce our today's speaker, Dr. Celestine Ewendi, who is going to speak on the topic Exploring Opportunities in COVID-19, Artificial Intelligence and Security.
Thank you, Shaikha. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. Today, I, Suprita Hedges, a third-year student of Telecommunication Engineering from GSSS IETW Mysuru, deemed it to be my honor to introduce our chief guest of the day. Dr. Celestine Ewendi is a senior member of IEEE, ACM Distinguished Speaker, Fellow of the Higher Education Academy, United Kingdom, Visiting Professor with Coal City University, Enugu, Nigeria, and Associate Professor with BCC of Central South University of Forestry and Technology, China. Dr. Celestine completed his second master's degree in Communication Hardware and Microsystem Engineering at Uppsala University, Sweden, 2008. Ranked under 100 in the World University Ranking, and obtained a PhD in Electronics at University of Aberdeen, UK in 2013. Sir has listed as one of the top African scientists. Dr. Celestine Ewendi is a highly motivated researcher with a wireless sensor network security book and over 100 publications. Dr. Celestine has a strong teaching emphasis on communication, hands-on experience, willing to learn, and 19 years technical expertise, and teaches engineering team project, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data networks, electronics, cybersecurity, distributed systems, and control systems. Sir has developed operational, maintenance, and testing procedures for electronic products, components, equipments, and systems, provided technical support and instruction to staff and customers. He is a wireless sensor network and AI chief evangelist, researcher, community developer, philanthropist, and an international speaker in many top conferences and webinars. Dr. Celestine Ewendi is a board member of IEEE Sweden section 2017 to date. He is the editor of International Journal of Engineering and Allied Disciplines 2015, Newsletter editor, IEEE Sweden Section 2016 to 18, Editor-in-Chief, Wireless Sensor Network Magazine 2009, Committee Member, International Advisory Panel, International Conference on Marine, Ocean and Environmental Sciences and Technologies 2014 to 16, Editor-in-Chief, Journal of Wireless Sensor Network 2009, Advanced Computer Science and Engineering 2013. Dr. Celestine is the co-chair of the special session on wireless sensor networks, hardware-software design aspects for industry at the prestigious International Conference of Industrial Technology ICIT. Dr. Celestine research focuses on wireless sensor networks, cybersecurity, security of things, machine learning, artificial intelligence, communication controls, Internet of Things, electromagnetic machines, 5G networks, and low power communication protocol. I humbly thank you, sir, for attending this program today and sharing your knowledge with us. Looking forward to learn new things. Thank you.
Thank you, Suprita. All the participants are requested to give the feedback. The link will be shared in their respective email IDs. Filling the feedback form is compulsory to get an e-certificate. You can also drop your queries in the chat box. I now hand over the session to Dr. Celestine Evendi.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to thank everyone that is here, the moderator, the organizers. All of you are doing great. Can I share my slide now? Okay. Can you give me the access so I share my slide? Let's see. Okay. Can you hear me? It's still showing that IISB is presenting. I need the access so I share my slide.
Yes, sir.
Access ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೀವಲ್ವಾ? Sir, we have given the access. Kindly give present now. You click on present now, sir. There you will get the IEEE is presenting there, no, sir. You click
Okay.
there.
Yeah, sure now. Okay, I'm seeing it. Good. Okay. Good. Okay, can you see it now? Can you see the slide?
No, sir.
No, professor.
No, sir.
No, it's not visible.
It's not visible yet.
No.
Okay. Just a minute.
Present ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ sir.
I'm trying to. Okay, share. Good. Good.
Professor, you can share. Yeah, now it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, lovely.
Slide. Yeah, it's okay, sir. It's okay. It's
Okay, good. Okay. So we want to congratulate every member of IEEE for a very good IEEE 2020 day, leveraging technology for a better tomorrow. Even though it was yesterday, but this program has been planned and coinciding with IEEE Day worldwide. So your school, the organizers have really done well for making this to happen. So we are looking at exploring opportunities in COVID-19, artificial intelligence and security. Now, I'm going to bring up things that some of you may have not heard before. I'm going to shake your mentality and allow you to think wide so that some of you are still undergraduate or masters or PhD, or so you can fall in love with artificial intelligence and security. And why is it important, especially in this era of COVID-19? Why is this suddenly very important? Well, I'm going to bring up those points for you. And then we will look at, this is about ACM also, because we had to combine ACM for this Association of Computing Machinery to bring up this for you. But that is by the way. Now, I will also give credits to my partners and friends, the HPE, especially Dejan Milojevic. You know, some of his articles are also, he is a fellow of IEEE. Now, take note, without intelligence, there is no value. Now, this is what we're going to. What brought up about the human intelligence? Why do we now have to go? That the human intelligence may not be enough. It's not enough. It takes more time. It takes more people. But then we now have to think of artificial intelligence. So we're looking at the China. You know, I had an experience with Chinese bank. We have sustainable future. We're going to look at what happens to toilet sensors. To most of you who goes to toilet, especially when you're traveling on board, and then you discover there's a kind of sensors that tries to measure the amount of water that goes in the toilet and sends this information. So the management of those, you know, the management of those people who are in the airline sends people to go and clean up at a particular time, especially in the rush hours of people traveling. So those things are taken care of. So likewise, we have this sustainable future that everything communicates. Everything communicates to something else. And that is the level we're going to when you talk about the Internet of Things. Now, we're not just only talking about Internet of Things now. We're looking at opportunity where we will move more than Internet of Things to intelligence of things. I will come to that later. Now, we also talk about the cybersecurity, you know, and why we have to use that. And AI, 5G security connectivity issues. So we need to know how to react. So this is entirely new scenarios for some of you. For some of you, you already have an idea. But I will dangle the carrot by taking you outside for you to know what we call Internet of Intelligence of Things. IoT in brief, we'll talk about how does it affect with gaming system. How do we look at the deep learning part of it? Then we also look at the traditional techniques. AI, is it a threat? Already saying, oh, because we are very large, you know, in India, I'm going to lose my job. So I wouldn't encourage AI. No, I'll prove you wrong. That AI, not that was create more jobs. And how is it a solution to Internet of Intelligence of Things? We'll come to that. Then we'll look at the call for industry, academia, why we are organizing this in the university. Why are we encouraging you, you know, the students to dive into AI? Because AI is practically in every field. That is not only to the medical practitioners, to the, you know, we are moving from that to also people in language, for example. Those are people in arts, you know, where someone is studying language but needs NLP, National Language Program, you know, to develop speech, so that through speech, some of us who work in the security area can detect who is really affecting, who is really intruding into my network, you know. So we'll look at, I'll briefly expand the next generation of artificial intelligence, what we call AI 2.0, and how is it sustainable for pandemic diseases like this. We discovered that the pandemic has practically, you know, crippled every country. Why? Because we are not ready. We're not ready. Because if we have data, now we have data, even now we still don't have a solution to COVID. You know, so people are not ready. But with artificial intelligence, I will show you how it has solved some problems in the past. Why, if we all look at it, it can be a sustainable future and prevent and, you know, and give us a system whereby in the next future, we're able to attack, we're able to prevent this kind of lockdown that we're having everywhere in the world, you know. So, and we'll look at how we apply this cyber and AI in a whole stack of electronic health. So, what is the changing world? The changing world. Number one, the last decade was about connectivity. We described that dynamic with Internet of Things, according to Steve Kioni, you know, president of research of that. But now we're not talking about Internet of Things now. Some of you are still Internet of Things coming, which is very good. You know, my PhD was on Internet of Things security. But then something needs to be done. I will tell you why IoT is not enough, why we need a combination, a balancing with artificial intelligence to make this work. So this decade we are in now, we are talking about intelligence to different devices, where your fridge can be talking to your television, where your television can be monitoring to your gas cooker. You know, we are looking at confronting a new IoT in total. So I call IoT now, I call it personally the intelligence of things. But then when you now bring this intelligence of things, you bring it into the changing world of COVID, which is the main topic we're looking at today, you discover it's an issue. Why is it an issue? AI tools, as you can see, have been registering numerous successes in major diseases, such as cancer, neurology, and now in coronavirus SARS, COVID-19 detection. Now, you all of us know very well that patients with COVID-19, they experience several symptoms, which include breathlessness, fever, cough, nasal, sore throat, blocked nose, runny nose, headache, muscle, joint pains. Now, take note that most of these things that are still symptoms of COVID-19 can also be found in other diseases. So how do we differentiate as a scientist, as someone who understands artificial intelligence? We'll look at that. How do we move on with this in this era? So, for example, currently in Moduyuan metro station in Beijing, you know, the security guy keeps watch as an AI power system developed by Chinese tech firm McVie screens commuters for fevers as they enter the Moduyuan metro station in Beijing. It is a part of an effort. You can see that part of an effort to contain the spread of this new coronavirus. So this is AI in operation, whereby we can detect, pick whoever is having fever from far, and then, you know, what they do is they push that person by the side once this system is able to detect that something is wrong. So this is AI doing this detecting scenario that is currently in Beijing. That is why you have Beijing has one of the lowest places of coronavirus spread, because they are seriously working on that. And I got interested because your president also mentioned something about, you know, entering into a big cybersecurity in India, which is very powerful. You know, I think the goal of your government now is to make AI, you know, the main cyber area where your government is in place. And then if your government can begin to train a lot of people, then they'll position India to be one of the best and the number one in this area of AI and cybersecurity. So it's really a very good thing when I saw the proposal from your government. I think I have that in a slide or something, you know. So now what is the new normal? Now take note, we're talking about processors. We're talking about, you know, transistors that has moved from 1975 to 2015, up to now 2020, how it has been increasing. You can see the frequency, typical power, the number of cores. We're talking about data nearly doubling every 2 years from 2013 to 2025. So if this data keep doubling, what do we do in terms of cybersecurity and cyber, you know, defense and AI usage? Because AI, you need data to work on it. So these are the areas we are looking at. Now, what's driving this data? You see the structured data. You have the human transaction database there. You have the human the interaction data. You see the posting, for example, on Facebook, across 2 billion users as of 2017. You know, so what do they do? 2 megabytes per active user. in terms of download and upload. So we have 40 petabytes a day in terms of digitalization. So this is where we bring in attacks also, because AI, we will talk about why AI can also be used in terms of security, you know. Then what is needed, for example, for an autonomous car, where you have the leader and AP mass system, including camera and radar, you know, we expect this prevailing sensor suite to include up to 12 cameras, 6 leaders, 6 radars. It's costing so much. Now, AV system, for example, could cost up to £10,000 in 2025 versus 100,000 today. That means artificial intelligence, not only, like so I said earlier, people thinking it's going to stop you from work. No, it's also helping to save costs for companies. It's also helping to save costs for consumers. So AV system, for example, is cheaper and has redundancy, you know. So it has redundancy. That means it is better according to UBS system, you know. So I'm bringing up what HP have been able to do in terms of intelligent mobility. Some of you are working on edge, you know, cloud and core. You know, how you can move from the vehicle metro data system, your secure connectivity, edge to core resource and data management. And then you have a mini data center, you have the Wi-Fi on-ramp to 5G networks. Now you have 6G network. People are already working on that in terms of the local area network and, you know, wireless area network system. You know, then you have the SD-WAN provides connectivity between this edge and core data centers working. Then you have the cloud and data and enterprise in terms of the IoT platform, giving you also moving into the composable memory-driven computing. Now, I'm bringing up this area because these are all the areas some of you are working in computer system or some part of electronics. Now, AI, is it a solution or a threat? Now, banks, for example, are evaluating AI-enabled real-time analysis of ATM use, including automated CCTV footage analysis, enabling faster response to fraudulent transactions. We traveled in the last summer. We went to South Africa, and then we were in Johannesburg, and someone came in and told us, "Oh, there is a park. There's a park somewhere," because we were trying to do sightseeing, and that was my first time in Johannesburg. Before you know it, he took our card and he ran away. And then apparently we had to call Sweden to block the card. You know, now they could be able to block it because there was an immediate response to fraudulent transaction. Now, in the course of talking, someone who has a shop, they said, "Oh, you are the third person this has happened to in the week. In fact, the other person lost 100,000, South African money." You know, so I was like, "Oh, this is wonderful, first experience, and in such a place." You know, so but what we are looking at is now banks working immediately to block that, so that the card was practically useless for whoever picked it. You know, that is the kind of defense we're talking about with AI. An Australian utility company is using predictive-based analytics drawing on Internet of Things data stream to predict which condition result in equipment failure. As a result, what they did was they could have a preventative action in time, avoiding costly repairs. Rolls-Royce, for example, is also using AI-powered computing platform to analyze the data generated by its aircraft engine. As a result, Rolls-Royce can now design changes and operational recommendation that could reduce a lot of costs and also risk of people flying in the air. You know, so these are the solution. You know, I also watched a movie recently with my family, and in the part of the movie, I discovered a drone was sent, and the drone started working, you know, disregarding the command that was inside it, and then it was working in contrary. And then, so in the course of the movie, I told my wife, I said, "Oh, this is artificial intelligence working," but now another algorithm was already in the drone, a test algorithm. But the AI, the drone started seeing the test algorithm that was neglected but was not removed, and started obeying that, therefore disregarding the command. You know, disregarding the command, that it was initially meant to act upon. So these are the kind of trend when you talk about a threat, where the AI, the human will come into it. I will mention that again in AI 2.0, why we need the human intelligence to back up with the artificial intelligence for such kind of threats or mistakes like this. Then we have, the important thing is this. In AI, we have three things, three words: detection, prediction, response. Detection, prediction, response. High utilization, medium utilization, low utilization. You can see from the point in terms of AI in security for the following areas. If we can detect, like coronavirus earlier, then we'll have less casualty, like the world now that have lost almost 1 million people in terms of this, according to WHO information this morning. You see, so prediction, that you can predict what is about to happen. Now, the world is having this coronavirus because there's no vaccine. Why? It was not predicted. And then the response is the worst part of it, very low. The response, in fact, by the time people realize what was happening, it has already spread to the whole world. You see, before border was closed, there were already people who have gone to China and come back and all those things, and then the spread was everywhere. So these are the three areas: detection, prediction, response, that AI can deal with, especially in COVID-19 era. So vulnerabilities of AI. Number one, IoT, vulnerabilities. Why we need AI to come in. Remember I told you earlier, there is going to be an AI that we back up with the Internet of Things, turning it into intelligence of things. Once you mention intelligence, you are bringing in AI. So the IoT vulnerabilities, they are weak, they're gossipable, they're hard-coded password, insecure network, insecure ecosystem interfaces, lack of secure update mechanism, insufficient privacy detection, insecure data transfer and storage, lack of device mechanism. This is exactly what we have noticed. And some of you who are going to work in real-time data collection of IoT, you understand how you collect this IoT based on MQTT, SMPP, AMQP, and others that you can use with your web socket, generating your own data in IoT. But that is not the issue. The issue is, how do we turn this AI, IoT vulnerabilities, how do we turn it with AI to become a sustainable for the future? Good. So AI as a solution, for example, in deep learning, in cybersecurity, we have in IDS. Some of you who will be interested tomorrow to work with IDS. I have 6 papers this year on IDS, anomaly based model that use onto encoders, fully connected. What we use, intrusion detection system to check what happens on the web. Malware detection, is also there, where you use your neural networks. Then you have your spam and phishing detection, where you use your deep learning. I'm giving you expansion of what AI is all about. So some of you are still coming up or who wants to do masters or PhD, you begin to see these areas of concentration. I told you I'm going to broaden your mentality today so that you can capture what AI is all about. It's a vast, it's an ocean of information that you need to know. Traffic analysis, protocol identification, where you talk about the iron models. We have many models that have been created. We still have new more coming in. We have the domain name generation algorithms. We have different types of binary classifiers, combination of those classifiers, But the fact is this, that Internet of Intelligence of Things refers to the billions of internet-connected devices that is deployed around the world. That is why it's very, very much important, not just about this connectivity, about their security and how it will also protect us in our daily living. So as a solution, so many people have worked on that, in terms of malware detection, classification, and all that, like you have seen. But the fact is, artificial intelligence and machine learning can draw more advanced insight from data and draw this insight more rapidly. That is what I say. Without data, you cannot work AI. That is why it's very important. Recently, IEEE has data ports, especially in this COVID, they made it free. So if you are an IEEE member, you can actually access IEEE data port and use it for your information. Without data, you cannot work on AI. So you need those data. And it doesn't need you to pay anything. Just as IEEE member, you have access to those data already. So AI can identify unusual trends with greater accuracy, because without data, you cannot do prediction. You need something to also train. You need data to train. Some of you know Python very well. So once you have the big data, irrespective of how large it is, you can use your Python to train them. And then once you train them, you can now implement your algorithm of AI in it. You see, so the issue is AI can identify unusual trends with greater accuracy and remove the need for human data review by using computer vision or speech recognition. Now, let's come down again to that. Okay, as a threat, the bias I told you earlier, when results are produced, people think they are prejudice or assumption. No, but we have those algorithms and models to help you, especially in what you are doing, direct you in what you are doing. So algorithms can be designed by individuals with either conscious or unconscious preferences. Like I told you earlier, training data can introduce bias, but there will be a compromise. So, and all those tribal issues can be discovered and fixed once you're using an AI. So the threat factor is actually lower compared to the benefits of AI, especially in COVID-19 era. Good. Now, let me reverse back again to my friends who are in HP, what they're trying to make in generation accelerators. They've been able to develop what they call novel Neumann architecture that combine existing CMOS plus non-volatile analog technology in memory processing, so that we can have more automated systems with matrix in operation in a single circle. Then we have these applications have already been used in neural network inferences, speed up greater than 10 times whatever you have, in lower area and reducing the cost of the GPUs. It has also moved to alternate to quantum, for solving NP hard optimization problems, supply chain, network security, and the cost has been 12 times better than FPGA. So we are looking at the next generation accelerators working with AI that will turn things around. Now, what they continue, they said the memory analog digital approach could do this when you use it in optimization, accelerator, bring it into network security accelerator with AI accelerator, giving you a deep learning inference into the network. Now, then they also have a network security accelerator that recognizes attack signatures in packet data at a wire speed of that. We are currently working on projects that involves hardware security, hardware, not just software IDS system, but we're looking at how can we make this hardware, how can we make it okay, how can you protect your system? Like some of the systems now that come from China, most of them have some securities. That is why EU, we are fighting to make sure, even America, everyone is fighting to make sure that what comes from there is not just protected and for a particular nation, but it will be free and open so that a nation cannot be picking information from another, without their consent. So it becomes a crime. So the issue is reducing surface attack is a case of capabilities. Can we actually do it? Moving from the machine boundaries down to fine-grained act as supported. Can we have this capability supported protection? That is what we are looking at today. Now, but HP said that you can have a performance with memory-driven programming where you have this analyze. In this similar way, we need to rethink how we deal with security. It's very important. For example, you see, memory-driven computing helps to outspace the global time bomb of neurodegenerative disease. Like I told you, these are the areas where we have similar manner, where we increase the efficiency of cyber analysis. And this has been proven to cure Alzheimer's for people who have this kind of disease. So AI is not just AI in your classroom. No, we're talking about AI all around, what it can do, what it can achieve. So attacks are actually growing. Unless they are perfect, the cost is increasing. The cost, we get low, we reduce. Automation will be probing to find a weakness. That's why we have it in automated form also. So persistent traits that show hackers are also patient. So, but AI will be able to detect based on the data that we have. Based on the data that has been collected, we can predict, we can make a response, and we can, check what is going on with the network or with the system. So why is AI the future of IoT? 61% of enterprises say they cannot detect breach attempts today without the use of AI technologies. 48% say their budget for that will increase by an average of that in fiscal year. That should be 2022, sorry. Breach attempts, like for example, Cisco reported in 2018, they blocked 7 trillion threats on behalf of their customers. This is a company blocking threats from others. So we are talking about a company, we are talking about security that AI can help to solve, especially in COVID-19 era. So we need the people. That's why we're bringing this topic to you. Excuse me. Who are the people? 3.5 million of few security jobs by 2021, up to 1 million openings last year. They don't have the right training. High turnover. It starts at the top. That is why the leadership of the school is also in supporting. The leadership of IEEE is also in supporting that we get to know, people get to know about AI and how it can help to improve economy and then also help with everyday life. So we need enabling future. For example, Microsoft and PYC said that AI can enable a sustainable future. Why? Because artificial intelligence technology are among those that can enable real and effective change. They are not shorting. They are very correct. For example, they say it could contribute 5.2 trillion USD to the global economy in 2030, reduce worldwide emission by 4% in 2030, and create 38.2 million net jobs. We're just talking one particular area in one particular field solving this problem. Imagine if your government is able to actualize their dream, how some of you who are undergraduate will already have job even before you leave school. So it's a sustainable future where everything is connected with everything. Now, we also have the performance. Imagine 537 hours input reducing to seconds. Imagine incidents scaling from 1 to 2 incidents up to 1,000 seconds. You have corporate knowledge, transfer AI experience to new analysts. Not just cleaning, fixing, investigating, capturing intel, evaluating, planning, but also in documenting. So, but the barriers to this, like I've said, is lack of operational metrics to determine effectiveness, lack of realistic training data. That is why IEEE, has created data port. Some of you may have heard it today for the first time. Data port, check, Google it, and you see IEEE data port. As an IEEE member, you have access to IEEE data port, so you can search all the things you have. Also, if you have materials, you have your own data that you generated, created, you can upload there. People can also cite it for you to be record for you as citation. So it's very important. You also look at that. Then, how does the analyst use the AI? We are going to that. Partnering with the government, like some of us are already doing, partnering with IEEE, which is part of this organization. Then, standards are already being created. But let me go into AI 2.0 for sustainable future. This is the goal. China is already in 2030, they want to create a goal for this. But like I said, your government is already ahead. When you talk about big data intelligence, you transform big data into insight. You talk about crowd intelligence. You talk about cross-media intelligence. You talk about hybrid. I mentioned hybrid before, where you have the human and machines meeting, forming a more powerful system than machine or intelligence or human intelligence. And then you have the unmanned autonomous system. This is the area of research some of you will be thinking about. This is vast. This is huge. It is enormous. And I encourage you to look at this area in your research. Now, practical application of COVID-19, we build an intrusion detection system or recommender system. Some of you know this already. For some of you don't, use your Python development environment. You can download Anaconda, it's free. Launch it or your natural language toolkit, work on that, You can create your own packages for your work. For recommender system, you use Surprise or NLTK. You can use IOMAT. You need NumPy, Panda, or Plot, Matplotlib, which is similar to MATLAB plotting. You have PyPlot, you have Seaborn. These are all the things. They're all free. So if you want to start working on AI, intrusion detection system, or anything that has to do with AI, ML, practical application, get this system and download them in your computer. For example, we work on this in COVID-19 patient health prediction, where we boosted random forest algorithm, and we're able to get a very good result that had over 100,000 views in 1 month that the paper was published. So IoT and AI might help prevent future outbreak of disease. Imagine a global network of sensors and systems that provide an early warning system when infectious diseases threaten to become pandemic. So we're talking about building one that will be enormous, undertaking for government around the world, but the potential is unquestionable. Therefore, securing the Internet of Things will become vital if we apply artificial intelligence to it, not only preventing hackers to gain access to all the things we are working, but also making sure that we are ready for any pandemic in the future. Thank you. There are collaborations. If you are ready, you have papers, please get in touch with the organizers and get in touch with me. There are a lot more we can talk about in AI. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge and enlightening us. It was indeed a very informative session. The queries about today's session will now be read out. Well, I think we don't have any queries. So, as mentioned earlier, this is a 5-day back-to-back webinar series. And tomorrow, the 8th of October 2020, we will be hosting a talk on exploiting capabilities of cognitive science studies and brain computing by Dr. G.R. Sinha, senior member of IEEE, ACM distinguished speaker, Professor, Myanmar Institute of Information Technology, Mandalay, Myanmar. I think we don't have any queries. So, as mentioned earlier, this is a 5-day back-to-back webinar series. And tomorrow, the 8th of October 2020, we will be hosting a talk on
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಇದನ್ನ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಹೆಡ್ಸೆಟ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಇಲ್ಲ
Okay.
ಬರ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಇವಾಗ ಬಿಡಿ
Can you mute yourself?
ಬಿಡಿ ಆಗಲಿ ಲಾಗೌಟ್ ಅವರ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್
Request Nayana ma'am. To kindly mute herself. Well, as we come to the end of today's session, I once again humbly thank Dr. Celestine Iwendi for accepting our invitation and enlightening us about exploring opportunities in COVID-19, artificial intelligence, and security. I also extend my heartfelt thanks to all the dignitaries and also the participants for their enthusiastic participation and help make this event a success. This is Shai Hafif, your Master of Ceremony, signing off. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.